This tutorial shows how to perform a partial correlation in SPSS. Partial correlation is about analyzing the relationship between two variables whilst controlling for the effect of a third variable. For this example, we will correlate income and IQ, and I will control for the motivation, since we can assume that motivation and income will have some sort of correlation as well as IQ and motivation. I will assume that motivation is measured on the interval scale for this example only. With your dataset loaded, go through Analyze, Correlate, Partial. The Partial Correlations dialog box will now appear. Here you need to specify your variables. In my case, I'll select income and IQ as the variables for which we want to find the partial correlation and move those variables to the variables box. Next, we need to control for the third variable, motivation. To do this, move motivation into the controlling for box. Before running the analysis, you can click on options to choose additional settings. For example, you might want to include descriptive statistics or the zero order correlation. The latter is extremely helpful as it allows to compare the bivariate and the partial correlations directly. I therefore highly recommend checking that box. In regard to missing values, you have the choice between pairwise and listwise exclusion. Listwise means that rows with any missing values are removed entirely from calculations. Depending on the analysis you run, this can be useful. Proceed by clicking Continue. Requesting a two-sided significance is the default option and can be changed if you have a directional hypothesis. I would also recommend keeping the box Display Actual Significance Level checked. Once you're done, click OK to run the analysis. SPSS will now compute the partial correlation and display the results in the output viewer. We'll skip the descriptive statistics this time and will focus on the correlations right away. Since we requested zero order correlation, we have two parts in the correlation table. Zero order correlation is shown at the top, where it says None for control variable. We can see that IQ and income correlate with 0.640 and a p-value below 0.001 using Pearson correlation. We can assume a rather strong linear relationship when not controlling for any other variables. If we, however, shift our focus to the second part of the table, where it says motivation as control variable, we can see a correlation of IQ and income of 0.511 with a significance smaller than 0.001. This tells us that the correlation is still positive, but it is less than without controlling for motivation. We can see that motivation is positively associated with income and IQ with a correlation of 0.452 and 0.748 respectively. Since the correlation of IQ and income with the control variable is substantial, it is definitely worth controlling for when looking at the correlation between IQ and income. This method allows you to investigate the association between IQ and income while accounting for the association of motivation with the two other variables.